Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
Barry Briggs, Ivan Major, Andy Smith, Ty Woofenden. 4 riders that have won 3 successive British titles, and now a 5th can be added to their list in the form of Dan Bewley, who secured his 3rd national title at the Manchester National Speedway Stadium last Saturday. Only in Speedway.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Have you got your teeth in there?
Yeah, it's these light covers, they distract me.
Where? Yeah, welcome to the Speedway Tavern. The Speedway Tavern. Good, it's catchy.
Can we just start again?
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern, sponsored by So-Called Studios, for which we are eternally grateful. Yes, so I guess there is only one place to start.
Oh, it is, yep.
Which is obviously the British final. You was there.
I was, yep.
Was it a good meeting, would you say?
It started off a little bit slowly. I thought the first 5 or 6 races were a little bit processional, and you were thinking, it's going to be one of those nights. It probably wasn't classic in terms of some of the meetings we've seen at Bellevue in the past, but it did liven up a lot. Obviously, Dan Bewley had home advantage, of course. And he made it fully
made it count in the last.
But I would imagine, really, as a Birmingham supporter watching it, you would have probably felt a little bit deflated at the end because, in all fairness, the best rider on the night was undoubtedly Tom Brennan. He was superb.
It's always the same with that sort of a format. It's always the same. I actually wasn't deflated because he's secured his primary object, I would guess, which was getting to the GP, and he secured that. So
that would have been a first and foremost in all of the riders' minds, really, wouldn't it, to get that spot at Cardiff? But I think although I'll be pleased about that, I think there'll maybe be a little bit of a what if he'd managed to get out. If he managed to get out in the final, it would have been very interesting, I think, because he looked very, very quick once he got in front. But obviously, Bewley did the business. The only man, of course, to win off gate 1 all night. And of course, had to come from the back as well.
Stunning move. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, really good move.
As was the Ty Woffenden move in the semi-final as well.
Yeah, I thought, I don't think Ty was at his best during the meeting. I think he I thought he was fairly average, to be honest, but got better. When he won, as you say, a superb move in the semi-final, and when he got out in the final, I think most people in the crowd probably thought, he's going to go on and win it on his return to
and it looked like he was for the majority of that race as well.
It did, yeah. But as I say, a superb move from Bewley. There's been a lot of talk, and I think back to last year, I think it might have been Richie Worrell who said that it would be better off to move the British final around to different tracks because it negates the sort of home advantage that Dan Bewley has. But I think whichever track you have, there's always going to be a home advantage. We
were saying the same thing about Ty Woffenden.
Looking
at his 3 on the trot.
He won his 3 on the trot. He won them at Monmouth Green, of course. Andy Smith won a 3 on the trot. He was riding for Coventry at the time. Right. They were at Brandon. So at the end of the day, you've got to do the job. At the end of the day,
halfway through the meeting, you wouldn't have said that he was showing much home track advantage, really. He certainly wasn't the rider at that point.
No, he certainly wasn't. We had to work hard for the win. There's no two ways about that.
We should mention Robert Lambert, who was disappointing?
He was disappointing. I mean, from what I can gather, he brought some machinery over from Poland to ride in the meeting, but started off okay with a good race win. Although,
And you thought, oh, here we go.
yeah, but after that, never really got going, did it? Unfortunately
No.
for him, and a big shock. But I think that opened the meeting up really, because I mean, he was the overwhelming favourite to win it. You know, he's as we've said. I think at the moment he is the top British rider. And
Has it made the choice for the Speedway of Nations a little bit more difficult now?
It's going to be. I fully suspect that the three that get picked will be the three GP riders. I think Tom. I think if Tom Brennan had won the meeting, that might have. I think the debate really, I suppose, in terms of looking at their form in the GPs, is to whether Ty Woofenden what warrants being in the squad. But I think he will be. I think he'll be there for his experience more than anything else. If you go and buy the British final, then Chris Harris would get in over Robert Lambert because he finished in front of him. Bomber rode well, to be fair. He did ride very well on a track that doesn't really generally suit him that well. But it would have been. And I've seen a few people saying that whether he maybe sort of let Tom Brennan get that third place. I find that very unlikely.
Yeah, I do as well. Yeah.
Chris Harris has never struck me as a rider who just let somebody else win.
No.
And
quite the opposite.
Everybody. I mean, I think there's still a bit of anger from Bomber about what happened a couple of years ago when he felt that he was denied the opportunity to race at Cardiff, and we all know Bomber's a relationship with Cardiff and what Cardiff means to him. He would love. I think he desperately wants one more chance to ride there, and I think it would be if he'd have got it, it would have been merited. He would have, he would have justified getting there with a good performance, and he did ride well. To be fair, it was a couple of vintage Chris Harris moves, but in the end, not to be in the final. I think he felt in really the final he was just outpaced by the other three riders.
I think there was a lot of that during the meeting where usually the guy out front sort of seemed to just pull away by a long margin, and. I think it was Robert Lambert that said in the interviews, and you probably wouldn't have heard this, that it was because of the rooster tail. You're getting hit by the rooster tail, and that's the sort of thing at Bellevue. So, anyway, shall we go through some of the comments? We should say well done, Tom Brennan. By the way, we should absolutely put that out there.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Without no question about that.
Yeah, and Pete Clark says, hello, a rider of the week, Tom Brennan, no contest.
Well, I might pick a different rider, actually. It might surprise anybody.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Hi, everybody. I picked Dan Bewley for rider of the week. There you go. So straight away, we've got controversy. Great meeting to watch. Racing got better throughout the night. I was busy doing the Speedway Riders Benevolent Fund collection through the evening for injured riders, says Elliot.
Well done.
Sounds okay. Brennan was superb, great night. He won the main meeting, just unlucky in the final heat. He made a superb
I think he
move.
made the wrong gate choice, if I'm honest. I really do think he made the wrong gate choice, but I'm not a Speedway rider. All about how you used your tyres. Waffy proved that when he used the same tyre for his first three rides, saved a new one for the semi and final, but beaten by Trackcraft in the end. I mean, that plays its part, I guess. So I'm gonna talk about another Birmingham rider that performed really well, Steve Worrell, and who for me, that's who I'm choosing as my rider of the week, because I thought he was very entertaining, and didn't look out of place there.
Yeah, I mean he was probably the rider that I was racing for during the meeting, obviously with his Wolves connections as well. I was quite astonished when I found out that he was going to ride, bearing in mind the illness that he's had. As I said on last week's show, it's that sort of thing. I get it, and it's not the sort of thing that you can generally shake off in a few days. So he really rode well during the meeting. He's ridden Bellevue before. He knows the track. He's obviously a former ACs rider, and of course did well in the British Championship last year, and obviously got out in the semi-final. And he thought, possibly going to be two Birmingham riders in there, and reviving memories maybe of 1982.
There was, I was thinking about that.
Andy Graham's going to be joined as a British winner of the British winner of the British final were riding for Birmingham, but not to be. But no, in the end, Worrell was obviously beaten by Woofy in the semi-final, but he can certainly hold his head up high. As can Anders Rowe, I thought he rode
well,
very
as
well. Connor Mountain, of course, getting 6 points. He rode pretty well.
Never gave up.
Yep. Adam Ellis got better as the night went on. I think, obviously I saw his interview. I think he was pretty cut up, obviously, in the end, that he missed out on the final because he obviously just beaten Robert Lambert in his final race to get him in the last spot over Lambert. Yeah, but I thought there were some good signs there. There were some good performances. Charles Wright was maybe a little bit of a disappointment, I thought, knowing the track pretty well, obviously excluded in his first race. Be interesting if anybody saw what happened at the end of his second race when he beat Bewley, because it looked like kicked out at Bewley after the after the race.
That wasn't picked up in the commentary.
Yeah, we were sitting on the first bend and we saw it happen. It was a bit of a strange thing. I don't know whether it was just something he did there and Bewley was just in the way. There was no contact or anything. I don't know whether there was any needle. I mean, they'd had a good battle, to be fair, but it would have been interesting if anybody saw what happened and can sort of comment on it further.
You all gave Ipswich Witches to lose at home to Sheffield Tigers. Witches win 50-40, top of the league. Yes, they did. I did. Yeah, surprised. I'll be honest.
I think one of us got a correct score last
You got didn't somebody get the GP score right? Did somebody get the
one person got it right, but they didn't get it in the right order.
Who was that?
It was Elliot, I think. No, not Elliot. It was Dylan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody had pulled to beat Redcar by 4 points as well, because when they predicted it last week, the one person in this room laughed. So,
With me.
Yeah. I think we'll probably give that league a miss this week. Yeah.
No, we won't.
I'm on your tail.
Is that a euphemism? Okay. Right, so, I mean, a successful British final, I think, it can be said.
Yeah, I think successful as well, the fact that it was on a Saturday night. I was getting a bit concerned at about 7:15 because it still didn't seem to be pretty full. And then it's sort of like, the last minute everybody just sort of goes to the seats, don't they? So the grandstand, I mean, we were in the grandstand and it was pretty much full, I think, and seeing over to the back straight, which of course is terracing, and that looked, apart from the third and fourth bend, that looked a little bit threadbare, but the rest of it looked pretty full. So,
and it was great to see the copious amounts of stories about it in the newspapers the next day. Yeah. Hey ho. Baby steps, I guess. Simon Corbett said he was impressed with Connor Mountain and Anders Rowe.
Yeah, I was certainly impressed with Anders Rowe. Did obviously ended up winning his final race, which unfortunately wasn't enough to get him into the semi-final.
That was on YouTube, of course.
Just on that subject as well. I'm running a live stream on a platform called Rumble as well.
Okay.
If that's your bag, people who know about Rumble. It's where all the naughty streams are.
Is it really? Okay. You would know.
But it's all up and running, and it's really now there's people actually watching.
Okay.
There we go.
Are they able to comment on Rumble?
They certainly are.
Okay, so
no comments yet.
No, okay. You will let us know, I'm sure. If you are watching on Rumble, rumble us some comments, please.
Okay.
We are ready to rumble. Music at King's Lynn on gardening league by his gardening leave, I presume that is, by his Polish club.
I haven't seen that.
No.
Incidentally, we have got a meeting going on tonight at Plymouth, and it's currently Plymouth 21, Berwick 15. So, of course, he's in the championship. That's after 7-8. Ben Barker's had another crash, and he's obviously gone off in an ambulance, and because we've been drawn for the meeting, so
2 weeks.
2 weeks in a row, yeah, for Ben Barker.
Oh, all the best, Ben.
Yeah.
Hate to see that. We should also welcome back to the British League one Mr. Frederick Lingram.
Yes, of course, that is happening now. Of course, he's already made his full debut against
Won his
Ipswich.
first race.
Yep.
Great to see him. Probably not on a track that he's going to be used to after spending that amount of time away
think
from
it's
British leagues.
It's got to be at least 11 years since he last rode at Ipswich.
So it bodes well. I think we should have a little chat about a certain Mr. Piotr Pawlicki.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, now I know Ipswich is not something that he's going to be used to, but I think he has read it once this year, or was he not riding for us at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Was he still injured at that point?
No, I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it was his first time, but even so, the rider of his experience riding at reserve, you would expect a few more points than, I think, was it 2 he got?
Yeah,
something
disappointing. I think it's sort of it raises more questions, doesn't it, about him really? Is he justifying his place in the team? You know, obviously they've made a decision to replace Zach Cook, which I don't think has been a universally popular decision with a lot of people.
No. But people understand why. I mean, because I think whoever they chosen, there would have been somebody saying, "Well, you know, have you made the right choice?" And I think it's one of them that you don't know that whether you made the right choice until you made it. But yeah, I'm really, really worried about Pawlicki, because if he rides half as good as we believe he can, we've got a really pretty good team.
He's a tremendous talent. There's no two ways about that. But you know, unfortunately,
because Lampard's now starting to acquire more.
Yeah,
wins and
Lampard
stuff
is
coming on.
he's definitely improving. I think there were signs right at the start of the season when he was winning races, and he was winning races after getting out, and he looked very, very quick winning on in front. It was just when he got caught in traffic that maybe he looked a little bit vulnerable, but he's starting to show some promising signs now, I think. And but I think certainly Pawlicki is the one that's probably underperforming quite significantly as well. As you say, you know, a rider of his quality at reserve, he should be.
Yeah,
cleaning
I mean,
up, really.
if he was performing at reserve how he should be performing at reserve, and we've got Lindgren and Brennan on the sort of form that he's on at the moment.
Yeah,
that's not a bad team we've got there.
it's a decent side, but it's just not all the parts of the team are sort of clicking at the moment, unfortunately.
We have to hope Steve Worrell now his last few matches for us were pretty good.
Yeah.
Before he was injured, and I think we really missed him at Ipswich. To be fair,
yeah.
Because I was sort of half holding out for a close meeting, as I didn't think we was going to win, but I would have liked it.
12 points wasn't it in the end, I think.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
All things considered, but considering how much did Sheffield lose by? Was it 10 points?
Yeah.
Something like so. It's a comparable amount, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So.
Birmingham went to Ipswich on Thursday, says Elliot Hunt. Peter Pawlicki was terrible there, as we've just mentioned. Lindgren, Brennan and Lampard was super.
This could be Tom Brennan's breakthrough year, couldn't it? Interesting talking to a few Bellevue fans on Saturday, and a lot of them sort of ruined the fact that Bellevue let him go. I think it might have been, unfortunately, I think obviously...
It was a surprise. I was surprised.
It was a surprise, but I think, as I've said, I think it probably has done Brennan good moving away from Bellevue. I think obviously maybe he got a bit,
complacent?
Complacent maybe to a point, but I think moving to Birmingham has given him a new lease of life, because it's given him an extra responsibility as well, because he's higher up in the side of Birmingham than he was at Bellevue.
Rich Thomas says he was at the top of his game 10 years ago, which I presume is Pawlicki we're talking about. And what great job management at Witches are doing.
They're doing well to hold it together, aren't they? Really, considering they're having to sort of
they're decimated, aren't they?
What they're going to be doing in the long run to replace Jason Doyle is anyone's guess. See who they're going to bring over. They'll have to make a change at some point. They can't go through the whole season with guests and rider replacement, because in the end it's going to catch up with them.
It will catch up with them. They will run out of riders that are going to do the job for them. But so far so good for them. I'm just hoping that Birmingham can just somehow manage. Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah. And all sounding good on Rumble, says my official tester.
Oh, you have an official tester?
I certainly do.
You have an official rumbler?
Yes, I do.
He's rumbled you.
Yeah.
Where?
I've been rumbled.
Are we going to have any more of these jokes? I certainly hope not.
No more.
Right, shall we have a look at the leagues then and see where everything is going? Notice that the European Championship has started. The SEC.
Yep, that's right.
So we might have a look at that when we can.
Right, so at the moment in the Premiership, Ipswich top with 21 points from 11. Then you've got Sheffield 17 from 10, Bellevue 17 from 11, Oxford 13 from 11, Leicester 12 from 10, Birmingham 6 from 11, and Kings Lynn 1 from 8. Of course, Kings Lynn have been deducted 2 points as well.
Mhm.
So, I mean, when you look at that league table, pretty much all 10, 11 matches you've got Kings Lynn who are 3 matches behind. So it is it looks a fair reflection on how the league's gone so far. Ipswich, I have to say, look the standout team. Obviously, they've been decimated by injuries, but they're still picking up points.
Yeah, it's whether they can get to a final and maintain that, because they're going to have to. If they can't, who do answers on a postcard? Who can you replace Jason Doyle with? You've certainly got to look at the GPs, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. They're going to have to, aren't they? I mean, obviously Chris Louis will be at Miller on Saturday commentating, I'd imagine, for Eurosport, but I'm sure he'll also be maybe
chatting to
getting a few people's phone numbers and maybe doing some deals to see if he can get somebody in to replace him.
Oh, we've missed something. We really should.
Yes, Leon Flint. Yeah,
yes, Leon Flint. Congratulations to Leon Flint on his SGP2 qualification. I'm really hoping this helps with his confidence.
Yeah, because he's had a tough run, hasn't he? Especially for Birmingham.
I hope he can relax on the bike a little bit more. I think if he's trying too hard.
How do you think Oxford is settling in the top league?
Okay, I think is what I'd have to say.
Well, 4th at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their home fixtures, they've had 46, 44s, 47, 43. Obviously, the one loss so far that was against Ipswich. That was 42, 48. But their average score at home at the moment seems to be 46, 47. So there's not really a great deal of home track advantage there at the moment. Of course. Obviously, a lot of their riders wouldn't have ridden at Oxford before this season.
Nobody's ridden at Oxford, particularly in its current configuration.
Yeah, that's right.
So they have changed the
Bomber
track
probably has, to be fair, because he would have probably ridden at Oxford before it closed in 2007.
But I think they've reconfigured the track a little bit, haven't they?
It's a different track, isn't it? So, but I mean, the closest anybody, I think Birmingham were the closest anybody's got there. On the opening night, which was obviously a bit of a lottery because it was on a very wet night. Yeah. But looking at some of the fixtures as well. So I mean, obviously Bellevue, apart from the Sheffield match, have been getting over 50 points in pretty much all of theirs. I mean, Kings Lynn was 48-42, so maybe Kings Lynn got a bit closer than people expected as well. So
certainly much closer than I think. I can't remember how much we predicted that, but it was much bigger than that.
Yeah, but Kings Lynn, obviously, with matches in hand, obviously they've had a pretty terrible start to the season. So, but no, that's shaping up at the moment to be. You would think. I think the general consensus of that league is it's going to be Sheffield and Ipswich that are going to be the two favourites as they were last season. Bellevue obviously doing well up there as well. But of course, the only concern I've got with Bellevue is whether they're going to be able to pick up enough points on the road. Really, I think at home they'll be fine. But
got a few more comments coming up. If you can move it back up to where it was, please. A little bit further. Okay. Yep. Looking forward to. I think Chris Louis will be looking at disappearing at the moment. He's gone again. You've gone past him.
A bit further down.
I think Chris Louis will. Sorry, it didn't work very well on the radio, did it? I think Chris Louis will be looking at getting to the playoffs and probably bringing in Robert Lambert. Says Craig Smee. Are they allowed to do that now? Have they not? Was there not? I will check it. I'm sure there was some rule change about when you can bring in riders and when you can't. So they might, if that's the thing, they might have to bring him in a little bit earlier than the playoffs.
It would be quite something when you consider Robert Lambert's rather scathing comment about the Ipswich track at the end of last season when he was out there for Sheffield.
Yeah.
So it would be quite something. If
which is what Brian Reeson's referring to Rich's fans would not want Robert Lambert riding for them.
I think if they sign Robert Lambert and he scores the points that helps them win the final, I think that'll be forgotten.
Exactly.
It's the way sports fans work, isn't it, unfortunately? So
Terry Russell spotted at Oxford recently, so guessing he might have a finger in that pie financially, says Rich Thomas. That's cannot either confirm or not.
I don't know what the story with his licence is at Swindon, whether he's still got the promotion licence there or whether he's handed it over. So.
I would love to. There was another comment. I would like to. I think it was Elliot. Can't see it at the moment. He was talking about Leon Flint looking for sponsors to help finance the fact that he's going into the SGP2, which he will be starting on this Friday.
Yep, of course.
So look at his social media for that.
Okay.
Dave Tyne says there's no changes to teams after 18 league matches, I believe. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, Rich Thomas, no, he's not got the Swindon licence anymore. I didn't think he had, but I wasn't 100% sure. So.
Yeah.
Let's move on now to the Championship then, Capital Direct Championship to give it its full name. So at the top we've got Scunthorpe on 10 from 5, Poole 9 from 4, Workington 9 from 6, Oxford 7 from 5, Berwick 7 from 7, Redcar 4 from 8, Plymouth 2 from 4, Glasgow 2 from 3, and Edinburgh 2 from 4.
Right, well, there's quite a big disparity in the number. I mean, the biggest one being Plymouth for obvious reasons.
Yep.
What was the top two again?
Scunthorpe and Poole. Top Scunthorpe on 10, Poole on 9, Poole with one match in hand.
Did anybody here predict Scunthorpe to win this thing?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, they've had a good start, haven't they? You know, obviously they went to Berwick and won, didn't they? Which was a bit of a surprise because Berwick have had a good start to the season.
Yep.
Although they've sort of maybe levelled out a little bit. Workington having a successful start to their life back in the top in the higher level as well. Paul, of course, only just managed to beat Redcar at home last week. So, but you know what's going to happen with Paul. Paul will sort of find the form on the.
They'll do what they need to do when they need to do it.
They've done it so many times before. I think the biggest disappointment probably so far has been Glasgow, isn't it? Two from 3 matches. Although they've only had one match at home so far, and obviously with 2 defeats on the road.
It doesn't look great for them at the moment.
But after having such a great season last season and winning the league at last, then they'll be disappointed that if they're that far down at the end of the season. I think there's no.
Yeah, it should be an interesting season. Rich Thomas, Terry Russell, according to Rich Thomas, does own the TV rights still. Again, we have to say allegedly because we don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think those top 2 are probably going to be in there or thereabouts come final time, don't you?
I think so. Scunthorpe obviously have had, been very, very consistent over the last 3 or 4 seasons, haven't they? So,
while we're on that league, we should mention Get Well Soon, Rory Schlein.
Yes, of course. Obviously, was obviously scheduled to race in the British final, wasn't he? So obviously missed it. So,
yeah, I mean, he had quite a nasty accident, from what I understand. I haven't seen it.
Off,
and out for the season, possibly.
Massive blow.
Get well soon, mate.
Yep.
Simon Corbett says Kvetch at Kings Lynn signed. Does that mean Kings Lynn have signed Kvetch?
Yeah, they have. They've signed Jan Kvetch, of course. So.
Oh yes, I remember seeing it. Now you said that. Yeah.
So obviously, again, Kings Lynn seem to be going through a lot of riders, don't they? Which they've done the last 4 or 5 seasons. They seem to sign more riders than anybody else. They just need to get a little bit of consistency there, don't they? And, it's a shame because Kings Lynn obviously got a good history as a track, haven't they? Although I don't think the racing at Kings Lynn has been as great the last few meetings I've watched there over the last 5 or 6 years, which is a shame. Because it was
always the track, wasn't it?
When it was on fire, it was a really, really good racetrack, and hopefully they can sort it out because it's a club with a lot of history who've had a few lean seasons, haven't they? Certainly in
To
the
say
top
the
flight.
least, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we going to go to...
We're going to go to the National League now then.
now?
So at the top at the moment we've got Leicester with 11 from 5, Oxford 7 from 3, Scunthorpe Sheffield 2 from 2, Middlesbrough 2 from 4, Bellevue no points from their 3 matches, and Edinburgh also with no points from 3. So very early days in the National League so far.
Big surprise there, I suppose, is Bellevue.
Yeah, that's right. Bellevue also had one home league meeting. That was a defeat against Leicester. And they've had 2 away matches, which have also been defeats, Leicester and Middlesbrough as well. So Oxford obviously had two home wins, 51-36 against Edinburgh and 55-34 against Middlesbrough. But again, Leicester, you know, they've done well in that league, haven't they? The last few seasons there, and they look like they're going to be on course for another, good season again. And they're obviously doing a lot of stuff for a lot of these younger riders as well, aren't they, Leicester? And again, it's one of those tracks, I think, that sort of a difficult track if you've not got that much experience to master as a visiting rider. I mean, you look at their scores so far: 53 against Bellevue, 56 against Edinburgh, 55 against Middlesbrough, and 63 against Scunthorpe / Sheffield.
And don't forget to get your votes in for the Rider of the Week. We'll get a jingle sorted for it. Or I might just go, Rider of the Week, Rider of the Week, Rider of the Week,
Or not.
Rider of the Week.
We've had a few. Did you put your tuppence worth in for
Tom Brennan.
Brennan.
I thought Tom Brennan was absolutely outstanding on Saturday night.
And who are you going to say, Mike?
Steve Worrell.
Steve Worrell. Okay.
Just because of him coming back from what he came back from and how well he it was a really good performance, I thought.
Right,
So
so
a surprising performance, I thought.
Tom Brennan in the lead then?
Yeah, I think he's probably going to win it. He's won enough this week, hasn't he?
Yeah, why not? We can have our trophy, our imaginary trophy.
Yeah, it's really good in my imagination.
I don't want to know anything about your imagination.
Yeah, we've got Rich Thomas Rider of the Week. Tom Brennan popped up as well. So there you go. So Speedway, the European Championship, the SEC. I actually don't know who won. I started watching it before I came out.
I haven't seen the winner myself either, actually. So this is not very good, is it? So.
No, so we won't talk about that there. Well, I'm sure we can get the results up somewhere. I did watch a few of Millick's races just out of interest, and probably was a good idea that he doesn't ride for us anymore.
Yeah, so
Not
Andrei
making the
Lebedev won the last one. That was in, or won the first one, I should say. That was in Debrecen. I think I got that right, in Hungary. So Magic Janoski 12, Jakob Torsell 11, Patrick Dudek 10, Mikkel Mikkelsen 10, Anders Thompson 9, Pavlichki 9, Kasper Verena 9, Timo Lahti 8, Rasmus Jensen 7, Vaclav Milic 6, Leon Madsen 5, Kostigos 5, Kowalski 4, Ladorn 4, and Norbert Magoshi, who's been around for quite a long time now. I remember him riding for Peterborough in what was then the Elite League, I think. So no points for him. So it's a strong field. That there's obviously quite a few riders in there with GP experience. Obviously, Janoski sticks out. Dudek, Mikkelsen, Thompson,
Madsen.
Madsen, of course. Yeah, So
We have to ask what's happened to Leon Madsen. He seems to be.
Yeah.
He's not the rider he used to be at the moment, anyway.
Yeah.
He could very well. He could easily have been a world champion by now in that one season.
A few ex-Brummies in there, aren't there? Obviously, Milic is obviously one there. Timo Lahti as well, of course, he had a spell with Birmingham in 2021, was it, I think?
Something, no, was it 21?
Yeah.
Or was it 20? I don't know. Was that sort of time?
Well, we didn't have any Speedway in 20, did we? So,
no,
that's
true.
Should be 21, so.
That sort of era, anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously Pavlichki's in there.
Yeah. It's not really captured the imagination, has it? I don't think the European Championship, in contrast to the GPs.
No, it's sort of a mini GP, isn't it?
Yeah. I know there's quite a bit of money by all accounts being behind it. So, but
Well, and obviously, I believe they get a chance to get a GP place, don't they? If they win the thing.
yeah, that's right. So
That's probably what most of them are riding for. Elliot Hunt, Kyle Howarth testimonial is at Sheffield tomorrow with a Sheffield team versus World Select with some youth racing. Great servant to Speedway. Enjoyed seeing him at Wolves.
yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. He's been a good servant to Sheffield, but done well for quite a number of other clubs, hasn't he? Obviously, was in our hopefully not our last League Championship winning team in 2016. Played a key part in that team as well, and was a very good servant to Wolves, but has been a good servant to other clubs as well. And always got a very good reception when he came back to Wolves. Obviously, rode in our final meeting last year as well.
Do we have an update on Ben Barker?
I haven't, unfortunately, at the moment. So all I know is he's been stretchered. He's left the stadium in an ambulance. So.
Right. Okay.
But we will have an update on the score in that meeting. Let's see if there's any more news on the update as well. And it is currently Plymouth 25, Berwick 17 after heat number 7. So that one is still that's obviously being run. There was I think there was a 30-40 minute delay whilst Ben Barker was being dealt with by the paramedics in that one.
That's a long delay, isn't it?
You don't mind delays for that sort of thing, though, do you?
Well, yeah, but it's understandable in
absolutely.
that case. So.
Right. So 25-17. I mean, that's
Racing at Plymouth has just started.
Restarted, yeah.
Restarted. Okay.
We have got a Grand Prix, of course, coming up on Saturday, round 5. The Swedish Grand Prix in Malilla. One of my favourite GP circuits. Always provides very, very good racing. It's a GP I wouldn't mind going to as well. It's in a lovely setting, isn't it? You know, right in the middle of a forest. It's a typical Swedish sort of setting, isn't it, really?
So there's either a forest or a lake here in Sweden.
That's right, yeah. So, Barter Smalsnick won it last year, of course, in 2022. And I believe Dan Bewley won it last year, sort of podium in 2023.
And he's obviously feeling chipper.
Yeah, that will give him. Yeah, winning that British title will give him a huge boost, I think.
Robert Lambert will want to
bounce back.
And
certainly, Ty Woofner will want to bounce back as well because he's had a shocking start to the season, hasn't he, in the Grand Prix?
But obviously, Frederick Lindgren. I can't even say his name. Frederick Lindgren
on home soil as well.
Home soil.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to want to show well. Question for you. Question for anybody out there, actually, because I don't know the answer to this. Has anybody actually won a world championship without actually winning a GP? Has that ever happened? Because that's where Barter Schmarzlik is at the moment. I don't see him going a whole season without winning a GP, to be fair.
I don't think it. Mark Laurent did it, didn't he, in 2000?
Did he?
But in fairness, when Mark won it, it was only 6 GPs, so it was probably easier to do then than it would be over a 12, 13 round series.
The rules would have been different as well.
But,
I guess.
Laurensky did it in 2000. You know, but he was very, very consistent all the way through the series. I think the lowest he finished in the Grand Prix was about 5th, I think. So he just maintained a consistency over the course of that season. And it's terrifying to think that's nearly 25 years ago. I don't know where that's gone. Millennium year.
So, given that we did a prediction for the British final and put that towards the prediction league, shall we do the same for the GP?
Go for it.
Should we do it for this one, or should we do it for the British GP, or what we usually do?
Let's do it for all of them. Why are we not doing it for all of them?
Yeah, why not? Because it's more work for that.
Is that why we're not doing it?
No, nobody's mentioned it.
just a thought.
Yeah.
Linda Buck says Steve Worrell's performance at Bellevue. I imagine it's another book that's actually...
Yes, it is.
Steve Worrell's performance at Bellevue last Saturday hasn't received the credit he deserves. Yeah, he has been overshadowed a little bit.
Yeah, it was overshadowed really by the top two, wasn't it? So...
I would agree with that, which is why I've chosen him as my rider of the week.
He certainly wasn't he certainly was given a lot of credit by the crowd. I mean, he got a fantastic reception. He got a fantastic reception before the meeting, but obviously that was as an ex-Bellevue rider as well, and he was a good servant to Bellevue. Obviously, he was in the team that won the league for them in 2022. And I think, obviously, the vast majority of the crowd, being Bellevue fans, wanted Dan Bewley to win it, but I think, Tom
They wouldn't have been unhappy.
They wouldn't have been unhappy if Tom Brennan had won it. I know the Bellevue fans that were behind me. They wanted anybody to win apart from Ty Woofenden. So, who I noticed on the tunnel afterwards had a little pop over them over us winning the league final there in 2016, which I enjoyed, to be fair. So I don't think their fans enjoyed it, but.
We seem to be going back to the British final, but which is
yeah, of course,
absolutely fresh in everybody's memory, of course. Craig Smee, I was impressed with Connor Mountain as well at the British final. Certainly mixed it up with some of the more experienced riders and few second places.
Did beat Tom Brennan, didn't
he? He did, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I was impressed with him. He didn't. He was happy to get his elbows out and mix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Woofy got Doyle's mechanics now, says Simon Corbett.
Interesting to see how that one goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So with the time coming up to nearly 8:45, we should be looking at...
should we have a look at this, the Nigel Pearson Prediction League then?
Do you really want to?
Possibly not.
Okay, let's make it
Possibly
big so
not.
you can have a good old look
I
at
can't
it.
actually see that at all. So.
Right, okay, so you're... Oh,
Oh dear.
dear.
No.
I must have been looking at it wrong. I'm actually above you now.
Yeah, with the same number. It's only because
You've got one more correct score. That's how it's worked out now, so that's the...
So the green one there is me getting out.
that was for Paul. Was it Paul versus?
Paul versus Redcar.
Is that the one I laughed at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the one that's put you below him, sir.
Well, karma, eh?
Yeah.
Karma.
Come.
Okay, so where are we? We're still with the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
top 10.
on top we've got Simon Corbett, Brian Book, Matt Book, Dave Twine.
Into third place.
Yeah.
Is that Rich Thomas?
Yes.
And Gordon
Gambrill.
Gambrill. There we go.
It's still very close up there amongst the top 4, 5 or 6, so
Yeah.
anybody can get on a bit of a run and...
You just want to be the top in your family, don't you? You're desperate.
Which I can't do at the
Desperate.
moment. I did struggle to do it last year, didn't I? So.
I don't think I've ever been just 7 points behind the leader.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, when we start the season, you've been equal.
Apart from equal, yeah.
Okay, let's make a start on this then.
So pleased.
Okay, well, first one we will go for on Thursday is Leicester against Kings Lynn in the Premiership.
I believe it's up to you.
Oh, great.
Hold on, I'll check that.
I think
Got
you
it.
need to check that. There's a student's inquiry there. I'm pretty sure Rule 6.
Yep,
goes
it is you.
on. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so who is it?
Leicester against Kings Lynn.
Oh, dear. I'm going to go Leicester by 4.
Leicester by 12.
Leicester by 14.
You okay?
You went for Paul to only beat Redcar by 4 last week, so you never
There you
know.
go.
So,
I know what I'm talking about.
occasionally. So.
It's a funny old game.
Oxford against Ipswich is the next one.
Oxford again. Oh. It's very difficult to predict Ipswich because you don't know what team they're going to have, do you?
Yeah.
That's the problem. But I'm going to say Oxford by 2 points.
I'll go for a draw.
Interesting.
I'll go Oxford by 6 points. Oh, and Craig's agreed with me.
Okay, moving on to Friday in the Championship, Redcar against Edinburgh.
And that's up to you, of course.
Redcar by 10.
Redcar by 4.
Redcar by 12. Seems to be my figure today. They seem to have woken up, don't they? Okay, next one.
Next one, Scunthorpe against Oxford.
And that's up to you, Matt.
Scunthorpe by 12.
Sorry, I meant Chris, but
Scunthorpe by 12.
I'll still go for Scunthorpe, but I'll still go for Scunthorpe by 12.
I'll say, do you know what? Scunthorpe by 10.
Okay. Right, in Saturday, in the Championship, it's Workington against Plymouth.
Okay, so that's up to me. Workington by 10.
Workington by 14.
Workington by 12.
Okay. So, National League action on Sunday is Oxford against Bellevue.
That's up to you, Matt.
Oxford by 4.
Hello, Chris.
Oxford by 6.
Oxford by 6.
Okay. And then in the Premiership on Monday, we've got Kings Lynn against Oxford.
And that will be up to you, Chris.
I'll go Oxford. Is it Oxford? Oxford by 6.
Kings Lynn by 6.
Kings Lynn by 4. Of course, they surprised Sheffield by beating them last Thursday, didn't they? So, right. So, also on Monday in the National League, it's Bellevue against Middlesbrough.
Bellevue by 6.
Bellevue by 8.
I'll go Bellevue by 12.
Okay, and that's it.
Oh my gosh, are we going to do the GP?
Yeah, go on then. We'll do the GP. Top 3.
It's up to you.
Right, I will go for. Didn't expect to have to do this, so it's a bit of a. I will go for Bartos Smarsley to win it. I'll go for Robert Lambert to get second, and I'll go for Freddie Lingren to get third.
Okay, Chris.
Lambert, Lingren, Smarslick. I see, what a memory.
You just shuffled his.
Yeah, of course I did, yeah.
Okay, so to win it, I'm going to say Dan Bewley. I'm going to go Lindgren. Smarslick.
Okay. Right, well, I haven't posted this as a prediction on Facebook, so
We'll have this as a bit of fun for this week.
Yeah, we'll have this one. So,
Okay.
but obviously, when we have the British Grand Prix in August, we always do the same thing for that one. So that one will be included. So, and again, we'll go with the same as we did for the British final. So you get the winner right, you get a point. If you get the top 3 right, you get 2 points. If you get the top 3 in the correct order, you get 3 points.
Got you.
Okay.
Craig's gone for Bewley, Holder, Schmarslick.
Interesting. I mean, Holder, we've not thought of that. Okay.
Interesting.
I think Robert Lambert has certainly taken Chrissy's prediction that he's going to win because he's obviously still waiting for that first win, isn't he? So
Apparently, Tom Brennan's guesting for the Lynn.
yep.
Please let him come back fully fit, please.
I bet that's a bummer when they don't. You know, when they go off and they get injured. And
Riding with somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of speed. I mean, it happens all the time. They ride in many leagues in different countries. It's
So do those clubs that he goes to, do they have to pay a fee to the club they've come from?
I actually don't know.
I don't know whether they do actually.
I don't
Like
think.
you know, like in football, it's a loan period and so forth. And,
I mean, I don't think so. If
I don't think they do.
if you have a rider as an asset,
can you put that forward?
if they have a rider as an asset,
Yeah.
and they don't ride for you and they ride for another club, I believe there's a fee involved in them signing that for them for that year. But not, I don't think on because it wouldn't work really, would it?
And
you know, we all rely on that. Those
do
guest
the riders
bookings.
have a choice as well? I mean, do they have a choice?
They don't have to. They don't have to accept any
don't?
bookings.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Well, okay.
Hans Nielsen never accepted guest bookings.
Did he not?
No.
Didn't know that.
He was, well, to be fair, he was never eligible really to guess,
Well,
was he? Because his average was...
So high, he was high. Usually the top of the pile,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Oh, so if you, yeah, so I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
Okay.
well, when we had that title decider against Bellevue in '93, he was the first choice to guess for Sam, and he refused the booking, so which didn't go down particularly well with a lot of rules fans.
Dave Twine's got an interesting take on the GP. Lindgren, Kubera and Frick. And Lawrence Rogers says there's no fee for guest bookings. There you go. I didn't think there would be.
Max Frick is a good outside bet, actually, because he's been doing well, hasn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, he's a good rider, Max Frick. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's one of those never gives up type that we all
Absolutely, yeah.
love.
Okay, we've now had 10 heats at Plymouth, and it is currently 35-25 in favour of the home side. So let's just have a
They've
look
done
at-
well. They've
yeah.
covered up well for Ben Barker. Not being
Yeah,
there,
so let's
haven't
just
they?
have a look at only individual scorers so far. So you've got Troy Batchelor, who is guesting in that one. He's got 7-1 from 3 rides. Alfie Bowtell has got 10 from 4. Dan Thompson, 6-1 from 4. Carl Newman, 4 from 4. Ben Barker had a second in his first base, but was obviously withdrawn. Joe Thompson's had 2 rides, 2 wins from reserves, and Jacob Hook 3-2 from 3. And for the Bandits, Lewis Kerr 5-1 from 2. Jason Edwards is guesting for them. He's got 5-1 from 3. Drew Kemp 3 from 3. Daniel Hume 2 from 3. Zach Cook's guesting for Berwick as well for the injured Rory Schlein. He's got 7 from 3. Freddie Hodder's got no from points from 3 rides, and Paul Stark's also guesting. He's got 3 from 3. So 3 guests for Berwick tonight, which suggests really how decimated they've become over the last few weeks, unfortunately. So it's a shame for them after such a good start to the season that injuries seem to be piling up, as for them and for a few other teams as well.
And I'm going to whisper this. So far, fingers crossed, because we normally have 2 or 3 injuries by this point in the season. So I do hope I haven't jinxed anything now.
That's it now, yeah. Oh, there'll be a phone call in a bit. Lawrence.
Sorry, Lawrence.
So let's obviously we talked about the British final, and we've talked about whether that what sort of impact that will have on the squad selection for the Speedway Nations, which of course is going to be at Bellevue. So as things stand at the moment, who would be your 3 for the pick?
Wow. Thanks for that. You give it to me first. Wow. You see, I would take a punt on Tom Brennan.
Who'd you drop there?
Yeah, well, I think at the moment it would be Ty Woffenden.
He seems pretty confident that he's going to be picked, doesn't he?
He does
Ty?
seem very confident.
Yeah.
It might... Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like to be the one that told him.
Yeah.
But on current form, I think I'd have to say that, you know, Robert, like I said, but Robert Lambert didn't have a great meeting at...
You can't base
Bellevue.
it just on that one meeting.
No, you can't,
unfortunately, so.
because his form is much better.
Yeah.
Lawrence has told me to behave. Sorry, Lawrence.
I think it's fair to say that Lambert and Bewley are going to be certainly Bewley's, obviously with having home track advantage, they're going to be showings. But I would still probably, even though Brennan's has had a very good start to the season, and even though he was outstanding at Bellevue on Saturday, I would probably at this moment just go for Ty. I mean, there's another month to go, so things might change. And if Ty suddenly has a bit of a resurgence in the GPs, then that's going to book his place in there. So
Absolutely, well.
but it's going to be an interesting. It's a nice issue to have, really. I suppose nice headache. And
It is.
if you've got a 3-time world champion, and there's debates about whether he's going to be in the.
It's
in
a
the
nice
sport.
issue to have, but when you make your choice and then it doesn't work for you, that's not nice.
Yeah.
As can happen. I think what is another interesting subject of conversation is that if this had been a full-blown World Team Cup, Tom Brennan would definitely be in it,
Yeah, he'd
wouldn't he?
definitely be in it. Yeah. Was he in the World Cup squad last year? I don't know whether
I'm not
he
sure. I
was.
don't think he was. He won the Speedway Nations. He took over strangely enough from Ty Woffenden when Ty Woffenden was injured.
Yeah, Jeff Daniels is at the plus there. Can you really see Simon Stead telling Woofenden you're out? It won't happen. Mark Lemon's going to have as
Yeah.
close to there. Mark Lemon's going to have a tough choice as well because obviously they've got no Jason Doyle. So
Yeah.
does Chris Holder get back in? You think it's going to be Jack Holder and
Jack
Max
Holder,
Frick?
certainly. Max Frick.
Yeah, possibly him. Possibly. There's a few other picks, aren't there? that
Chris
they could
Holder,
have
I'm not sure.
with his experience.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Lidsey, of course, has obviously made big pushes over the last few years, hasn't he? So, of course, Australia, they're defending champions. They won the last one, didn't they? So,
I keep forgetting that.
in 2022. Yeah. So,
I'm really looking forward
Brady
to that.
Kurtz as well.
Oh,
you know.
Brady Kurtz is a good. It's a good call, actually.
Well, and Lidsey home track advantage, of course, riding for Bellevue. So, that's gonna influence Mark Lemon's decision, I think. But I tend to agree with Jeff. I think Woofenden will get in. I think Woofenden will will get the pick.
Simon Corbett says Bewley, Brennan, and Lambert reserve is his call for it.
Oh, that'd be a big gamble. To
Lambert at reserve.
Yeah.
Mind you can put him anywhere, then, can't you?
That's true. Yeah.
You need. I think it's you put your best rider at reserve, don't you?
Mm.
Could you imagine Ty Woffenden being at reserve?
Yeah.
That's another. It's an interesting call. Craig Smith says, "Oh, Tongate, wrong Tongate."
Yeah, he's made a good return, hasn't he, to Britain?
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised when Oxford signed him, but he's done really well. I was very impressed with him when he rode at Perry Bar earlier in the season.
Oh, Brady Kurtz is out
Yeah,
injured.
of course, yeah.
Of course he is.
Yep. Tend to think for them it's going to be Max Frick, Jack Holder. I think they're the certainties.
Yeah.
And obviously, I would say probably going to be Jay Lidsey or maybe push Chris Holder.
I'm really looking forward to the Speedway of Nations.
Yeah, it's got the potential to be a cracker, hasn't it? We had a fantastic World Cup last year, and obviously, I think the Speedway of Nations is generally considered as the poor relation, isn't it? But it's obviously something different.
It's a mouthwaterer for the
Yeah.
real thing when it comes in 3 years, every 3 years? I
Yeah,
think they
so
do.
2026 is going to be the next Speedway World Cup. And, Poland obviously don't like it, but that's because they haven't won it yet, so
Where is the next World Cup being held?
hasn't been decided yet.
No,
Right.
The last one was in Poland, so whether the next one will be the same as well.
because they hold it now, don't they?
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe it'll come to, who knows? When was the last time it was in this country? It's been a while since we had the World Cup. here, isn't it?
2016, it was a Bellevue, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, of course, amazing to think Bellevue's been going that long now.
Yeah, the NSS,
Yeah. Kurtz is out. So Craig Smith, is that confirmed? I know he has an ankle injury, but heard he's looking to get back at the end of this month if he doesn't have to have surgery. A Speedway rider trying to get back earlier than it should? Surely not. Right, well, we need to call an end to the proceedings. I've just looked at the time.
Where's it gone?
Into the ether. Okay, so everybody have a great weekend, great week, I should say, and enjoy your Speedway. We got none at Birmingham this week, unfortunately, but looking forward to it. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Ready? GA.
And there we go.
Why does my brown coat look purple on your... Just no.